Hello and welcome back. It's Grillenheimer. It's Sunday, and feel the need to have a small lesson here. It shouldn't take very long at all. But was listening to a Sunday school streaming, unfortunately. Didn't have the chance to go to either one of the two churches that I've been sort of going between lately, but that church has been talking a lot about the Beatitudes, and the other church that I've been going to has been talking a lot about the Beatitudes. Both are Protestant churches, but they're of different faiths, if that's the right way to put it, different denominations. But the church we listened to and streamed today, the elderly man was talking about. He touched on something, but he didn't extrapolate. And I felt like the need to extrapolate this. And basically, he said these people hadn't, after the Sermon on the Mount, which I believe is Matthew or Luke chapter 7. I don't have my Bible with me, so excuse me. Was that near the end of the chapter, it says that the people were astonished. They'd never heard anything like this before. Well, he didn't really extrapolate that. And I got to thinking, no, they hadn't. They're used to a lot of the Lord's commands being, do not eat the fruit of the tree. Do not, have intercourse or fornication with other people before marriage. Do not do this. Do not do that. Do not hate. Do not wear two different types of fabric, or do not do this, do not do that, do not sleep with the same sex, whatever. Do not. Well, the Beatitudes completely undo this, because now Jesus is doing his Sermon on the Mount, and he's not preaching do nots, he's preaching your behavior has consequences, and your consequences with faith can have positive consequences. Ask and you shall receive. Knock and it shall be opened. Yes, keep the 10 Commandments, but wait, there's more. Treat others as you want to be treated. He's actually talking about there are consequences to your action. It's not so much do not do this, do not do that, do not do this, do not murder, do not kill, whatever. Oh, great, I'm on YouTube. Etc., etc. Instead of all these do nots, he's unraveling all this and telling his congregation, if you do this, you will be rewarded in this way. If you do this, this is going to happen. More like an if-then statement of old basic computing, instead of the harsh reality of nothing but commands. Does that make sense? That just popped into my head just right now. So, that's the beauty of the Beatitudes, of the Sermon on the Mount, of what Jesus is explaining, is that it's not just a bunch of commands anymore. It's more like, okay, let's talk. If you treat somebody like this, if you critique somebody, if you're cynical with somebody, expect it for them to be cynical back. They're going to come back at you in the same way that you're going after them, etc., etc. And it was very eye-opening and ear-opening for these people, because especially they have memorized by rote the Old Testament. A lot of it was sung to help them remember the Old Testament books of what would be our Bible. A lot of it was, some of it was written down, but normally only the high priests or the priest would, read it, and they would have a reading in their synagogues or a temple or wherever, etc., etc. So this was a big change. So as you listen to the news today and hear how people's bad actions are not having bad consequences like it used to be in this country. Depending on what state you're in, that might still happen. What about the good? The good actions also reap good consequences. And that's what Christianity is all about. And that's what a lot of the heart of what Jesus was trying to explain on the Sermon on the Mount. If you do this action, you will get something back. Whether you're knocking or asking or imploring or praying. When you pray like this. He wasn't trying to say forget the prayers of old, but at the same time, when you pray to our God who art in heaven. Hallowed is his name. Holy is our Father who is in heaven, who is watching over us. To make sure that we remember and we understand that our actions have consequences. And I hate I don't want to mix up New Age ideas or New World Order ideas, but I feel like some of these near-death experiences are very real when they have an experience with Jesus, and more than one person has had this, where they are shown a serene water, still water, and one pebble represents one person and their actions in that ripple, and then another person and their actions in their ripple, and next thing you know, all these ripples are turning into chaos, and there's a lot of ripples in the water as a result of all the pebbles being dropped into the water. And I think that's a good visualization of how we are all interconnected. Just because you think you are something or you're born in a certain way, that you don't have a choice. There's always a choice. And think, oh, well, my behavior isn't affecting you. Yeah, it does. Your behavior can affect, and your attitude can affect the countenance of other people around you. So, things to think about. Things to think about. I think this is something very real, something very spiritual. We have nothing but Jesus to thank for this, because he explained to us on the mountain with the Beatitudes of the best case of living, the best case of socializing. And the media doesn't want to see any of the good that is happening right now. They want us to see the bad. They want to get us riled up and divided and get ready with your forks and pitchforks and torches, etc., to go online and duke it out, and including myself. We can't keep doing that. And unfortunately, there's bots and trolls online also that eggs this stuff on. And what is it doing? It's just trying to get us angry. It's trying to get us riled up against each other. Let's stir the waters of the pond and see what happens, and see how people react. And that's what all this is about. Is watch your behavior. Watch what you write, especially when you're using your real name, because actions matter. Actions do speak louder than words. And just as Jesus was basically teaching us all from the Mount, the Sermon on the Mount, watch how we treat each other. Treat others like you want to be treated. And sometimes, especially when dealing with my own kids, sometimes the heat of the moment, you say things you don't mean to, and once you say it, you can't unsay it. That's it. They've heard it. Something happens, you can't undo it. You can try to apologize, but that may not make it really any better. It's already happened now, hasn't it? So, and for your homework today, considering I don't have my Bible with me, is Go over the Beatitudes. Look what Jesus was explaining. And every one of them starts the same way. These are not do nots. This is behavior type declarations to help us to try to use in our daily lives to be better with one another. With that, praise be to God. I apologize I didn't have my Bible. I forgot to pick it up on my way out. See you next time. Don't just have a great day. Have a blessed day. Praise be to God. Have a good one. See you on the next. Thanks for watching.